Good afternoon, Tuesday, and I have done a little bit of work and I'm doing a very quick video for you. Seats are out. We've got a lot of mess to remove. This foam stuff I put in, it's all got to be dug out. I've got to go through all of the wiring that's in here for the ECU that I had. That's all got to come out. I basically just got to rip it all out and start again. Some wires I'm going to leave alone. Those that go to my start units up there, look. As far as I know, that little lot still works. Got an aircraft push to make switch up there. So yeah, they're in a bit of a bad state, to be honest with you. I don't actually know if I can do anything with them. We'll have a go, but they might be too far gone. Anyway, today, hopefully, that's what this video is all about. This is Winch still. I want to paint all of this up. I've been looking online for some wrinkled style paint. I don't know what the hell is sprayed on that, but on that side it's terrible. So what I'm going to do is take the control box off, take the skull off, lose the aerial. I'm going to hit it with a wire brush, wash the thing down to get all the staining off, try and clean it up as much as I possibly can, and then we've got some satin black coming and some etch primer. We'll paint that whole area over with the etch primer, then we'll paint the satin black on, let it go tacky, and then what we're going to do to get that paint effect I'm after, I'm going to get a scouring pad and gently push that over the top of the paint to try and get that wrinkled effect that the rest of this has got. That's the only thing I can come up with. That is pretty bad, that paint. I'm very, very disappointed with the company. That's the electric motor side. So I'm probably going to have to disconnect all the wires as well. What a nightmare. I still have the book for this, so we can trace it all back, not a problem. Right, well, I thought I'd save you the boring part of wire brushing and washing and cleaning, so I've stripped it right back as far as I can get it. What paint is left is pretty well firmly on there. The rest of it is not. So the first things first, we're going to have to put the etch primer on. I'm going to build that up quite a bit. Go from there really. So I've got to shake this for half an hour or more. Right, that's dry. Now we're going to put the black on, but I'm going to build the coats up first before I start stippling. Right, I found the technique, and it's let it go semi. Right, so this is the top one, and that's the only one I'm doing. That side is not working, it's too harsh. It's this side I want. So I'll just... It's got a few air bubbles. I can't get them out. Every time I get one out, I put another one in. So that's a lot better than what it was. Still not the way it should be, and it will never dry to that because that's matte. That's satin. It's a different brand of paint altogether. But if it makes this thing look a little bit more tidy than it was before, I'm going to go with that. Well, we just had one mega downpour. So I thought I'll get out of it and show you what's happened. We're done as best as we can get it. It's got a texture, I just can't see it very well because of the water that lay on it, but it's all back together. And also another flaw that I found, these covers actually go against the principles of keeping this waterproof, because water gets behind them and rusts the bolts out. So what I've done on this is I've greased up every single connection, wire brushed it all back, greased them all up except for that one. And the reason I done that one is because it started to rain on me. I could hear it in the background, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, it came down. Literally about, what, 5 minutes of water just poured. So that's another job ticked off. So that's going to sit over there later. And tomorrow, if the weather is better, we're going to get in this here old beast. Look at that water, man. We're going to get in here and we're going to clear that completely out, scrape back everything, put everything away, and then we will start cutting that driver's floor out. Lovely, huh? Weather. Okay, this is the side that I am planning to cut open. To be honest, it isn't as rusty as I was actually anticipating. This paint, this red paint, has really protected that metal. I believe this red paint came from BOC, industrial, really good industrial paint. So yeah, it's worked out really well. The black on the chassis hasn't. That's also BOC. That hasn't worked out very well for some reason, but this has. Someone tells me that little bugger is looking for somewhere to live. Get out of it. So yeah, I think we can dry this now and start planning where we're going to be cutting. You know, definitely going to be lowering. I need the bonnet off as well, I think. Well, that's a new floor that's going to go in, aluminium, but I've been a bit over generous with the hole that I was going to cut. I'm probably going to have to redraw that line about there. I do need all of that down there gone. Ignore that one. We'll cut along there. We'll make a new lip, so we'll weld onto this piece, go straight down 4 inches. We'll use the steel on this side as part of the wall, angle iron at the bottom, and then we'll go 4 inches down there and see if we can extend all of that by 4 inches. Not sure at the moment how that's all going to pan out. It's a lot of work. I don't really want the work, but I do need more. I need those pedals to be way longer than they are. I mean, I could move them down, but too close to the floor then. It's a very uncomfortable car to sit in. I drove it from the top of the garden down to here, and I won't lie, I didn't enjoy it very much. That was a bugger to get the feel of. Even that throttle was rubbish. I may even have to cut the pedals out and the pedal boxes and rethink it all. But we'll see. That brake is not very good. And we've got longer pedals coming, so I've already found some out of a Sherpa. Right, apart from completely destroying one plug, and check that out, that's bad. That's what happens when you don't use the correct blue plugs, the equipment, but I don't have a point outside for that. Anyway, that's what we're done. We've taken that cross member completely out. You've got to remember though, I have a second one down here that this is all tied into. Now I'm going to, when I weld this all up, I'm going to weld a big strip there and there. Not so much down there. I'd love to get rid of that, all of that that's going on down there. I really would. I hate that bit of block, but it is also another area that's being held on. So I'll get the grinder out with a flapper disc because it's quieter, and we'll trim all of that down. And then I need to make my mind up if I'm going to take out this piece here or not. I just don't know at the moment if I'm in a position where I should do that. Whew. But I think that's going to be in the way. By the time I get the pedals lengthened, remember this is now my new floor level. By the time this pedal is all the way down here, I think that's going to be in the way. So now you can see how ridiculous they are, can't you? Based on what would be a correct depth in a car. Well, moving on. Right, done some more cutting. That is a big hole, but it's a necessary hole. So I've cut angle out here, that's going in across there like so. I was originally going to have it way up here, but I've changed my mind now. That's going to go there as best as I can. A little bit of trimming to do, but we'll put that in there. We'll do another one there. We're going to do another one across there, and then we're going to put one big piece of alley plate in that space once I've got a cardboard mock-up of it, which will be held in with these roofing screws. And then we'll have a piece of tin welded along here going down to there with a lip hammered in, and the same up the front. We'll have another piece going down. We'll take this bolt out here. We're going to weld a piece of plate on the inside edge of that. Where that angle iron is there, there'll be another piece welded to that going down. There'll be a big old piece of alley checker plate going in on the floor. And once I've done that, then I've got to try and figure out what I'm doing about these pedals, because that pedal box is actually welded in place. I didn't bolt it in the end. I was going to bolt it, but I changed my mind halfway through. I've now kind of come to the regret of that, because I now need it gone. I want to replace it with a completely different brand. I'm not comfortable cutting the pedal levers and welding them all in, because they're sort of case hard steel, some of these, but I don't have any choice because I can't legitimately get that out without mucking it all up. So it's just going to have to stay, and I'll get the new pedal box from the yard and I'll cut the pedals off, and I'll see if I can't find a way, because the brake won't move because there's no vacuum. Although on a longer reach it might move a little bit, we'll see. But the clutch, well, that's blown. I think it's actually gone in the gearbox bit. That moves, so we've got something to go with on that one. So if we make the pedals work for the clutch, and we sort of equalise that clutch on the brake as well. So in other words, what I'm saying is if we give the brake the same travel as the clutch, we really can't go wrong. But the other thing we've got to do, that ruddy throttle, that's now in the wrong place, and I don't particularly want that longer. I say it's in the wrong place, it might be okay there, but I can see my foot sliding off that sucker. We'll see. I'm going to leave that alone for the moment, because that works. But it might not work where it is, and I don't want a hugely great long one. That didn't sound right, did it? Moving on. Too damn close. Well, it's definitely neater than the previous attempt. Okie dokes. All I wanted to achieve today was to get that gearbox cover done, and I have succeeded, although I tried to be a smart ass and use the pre-bent edge, but it hasn't paid off because obviously it hasn't gone all the way to the end. Now the holes that are in that are definitely a lot better than what was there before. I will have to make up some steel plates to go around them at some point and place some new gaiters. I'm also going to redo that one as well because it's just covered in rubbish, so that's all got to come out and be redone, but we'll worry about that when we get that done, the windscreen. So in case I didn't catch any of that, there you go. That is what I wanted to get finished today. The welding is not that good. Problem I've got is I can't get a grinder in here anywhere, and there is paint and rust everywhere. It's just a massive pain in the backside. I've cut that big cross member out. It's not structural to this vehicle because it was part of the previous attempt on a different chassis, because that was the chassis. I don't actually need that. It's resting on this really thick piece of metal here because I needed an extra lift, and I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to put another beam up there, because at the time I was dragging this up on the winch, which is why it's sitting on a big piece and not individual pieces under the mounts. I could cut that all out if I wanted and go really low with the floor. I could go a lot lower than where I'm planning to take it, but to be honest, I think that's fine where I'm going with it. Couldn't be helped on this. I wanted to go lower there as well, but I'm hoping this doesn't become an irritation, like uncomfortable, because the seat bolts onto there and that's way off over here and your legs go down, so I think that's going to be irritating. I don't think I'm going to enjoy this very much, but it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. We can always cut it out again at a later date. Can definitely remodel the levers that are on here. I've just got one more thing to say. If you were looking at that thinking, well, that's not too bad looking, but looks like it's going to be really uncomfortable, you'd be right. It is horrendous. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to cut all the way along that angle line there. Now last night, must have been about 8 o'clock, pulled the bloody out, cut that out, because that part wasn't working for me. The bar that runs across here, as you could remember seeing, it was very uncomfortable. So I've removed, and I'm going to have to start all over again. However, we do have a nice big hole, so that's a start of something, isn't it? These levers are a nuisance. There must be an easier way of doing it. I checked up actually to see how much a proper Land Rover diff lock would cost, brand new. 300 odd quid. Not an option. I think there is a switch missing from this piece here as well to indicate that we're in 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, assuming that's what that is. I can't remember which way around these go. I'm pretty sure that's my 4-2 and that's my diff lock, but I can't fully remember. I could be wrong. I don't think I am though. That's really hard to move, and you have to move the prop to engage it, which is telling me that's the drive unit. So yeah, I don't know what to do regarding this. I know what I am doing today, and today I'm going to upload this here video because I can't do anything in this garden today. It's just not going to happen. I'll try and get some stuff done over the weekend so we're a little bit more ahead of ourselves, but if we've got another week of this weather, then not a lot is happening. But I will show you quickly the finished items, and there they are. We've also got the plastic cups all connected up for the lighting, so we're getting there slowly. So really I will have to do an outro. So I'd like to say thanks for the views, thanks for the likes, I appreciate it all. Next week we'll finish off that floor so we can tick that one off, and then we're going to start the bulkhead area. I don't have a lot of metal left. In fact, the metal I have got left is going to get used on the floor, so I think we are going to have to buy a new sheet, which is not what I wanted to do. Oh, hang on. Right, yeah, I know my shed and bench is a mess. We don't need to focus too much on that. Window frames, windscreen. I'm thinking about putting an angle iron windscreen frame around the car's original Morris Minor windscreen frame. I'm also debating about taking a set of these random aluminiums and cutting them and making them smaller and fitting these into that angle iron frame with stainless piano hinges, pop riveted in along the top, and then pop riveted in on the actual frame that I'm going to be building. I have concerns about this though, because latching it is going to be a bit tricky because I've got nowhere to screw anything to. But having said all of that, we do have 2 rubber seals in here, so I can take that back one out and I could rivet stuff to that piece of aluminium in there and then slide the new glass in here. I can get glass made. I have found a company that can do it. So I've only got to cut these down. I can't weld them, but we can do what they did here and insert loads of steel panel pieces in, thread, screw, and we can put it all back together that way. So this is just one idea of many that's buzzing through my head at the moment. I'm not saying it'll happen, I'm just saying here is an idea. I may very well explore this after we've got the scuttle built, which will be, I hope, next week. We are so close to finishing the metal work off on this, but we are also so far, because the weather isn't helping at the moment. It's been a real pain. As I say, we've only got the scuttle left to do, windscreens to do, 2 doorposts, 2 seals to fit, and that's it. The welder can go away. We've then got to move this up to here, clear this area completely, and then I can start sanding and grinding all the metal down. I'm behind my foliage that is so not desired by the neighbour, and I can just quietly get on with it. Well, not quietly, but I will just get on with it, you know what I'm saying? I hope I don't muck up the grass. It took 2 years to get that back. So that's the plan. Never mind. Anyway, with that, I'm clearing off now. I'll see you next week. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye.